Welcome. I hope you enjoy the conversation you're about to hear between me and another comedian regarding comedy and religion. These are conversations I'm calling disorganized religion. God bless, and for those atheists out there, may nothing await you after this life.
Welcome to Disorganized Religion. So happy to be back another week. Hope everybody had a good week. A couple of announcements. We're on email now, so email the podcast at Disorganized Religion. I'm looking at the screen and not the camera. I just like seeing myself. So Disorganized Religion Podcast at gmail.com. Email suggestions, questions you want me to ask guests. And if you have any suggestions on guests you want to see, email me there, and I'll check it when I get emails there. So also you can support the page or the podcast itself through anchor.fm. All right. I'm so excited for our guest today. We're here. I'm me, Seth Lawrence, the host, and always that.
Spiritual leader.
I don't want to go that far. Guide. How about guide?
This is a cult. Let's be honest, Seth.
I know. That's what I want, but I don't want to follow Chris D'Elia's like babies nonsense. Anyway. So what up, nerds? All right. We're here.
What's your cult?
What's my cult?
Yeah, what's it called?
Mormonism. I'm sorry.
You couldn't help it, could you?
I couldn't, man. It was right there.
It was just sitting there. I know.
I heard it's been rebranded, though. I don't think you...
Church of Latter-day Saints?
Yeah.
So you got to go the full name.
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yeah.
You had to
What
throw
a
the man in there.
The real, I know.
Why not have a mouthful of peanut butter and say Mormonism?
It's so short. Such a convenient name. They keep trying. This has happened a couple times where they've tried to rebrand the church away from Mormonism, and it's just too long. The real name is just too long.
It's a lot.
Yeah, they're trying to make it Church of Jesus Christ.
What's a good
Well, that's
acronym,
I think that's almost taken, though, right? Like,
I mean, there's
it's not
of Christ.
It's not taken, but it's like,
who would have taken it?
that'd be like opening up a
coffee shop.
That'd be like, yeah, and calling it like Bar Bucks, and you'd be like, all right, I see what the, or, you know, like,
yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah,
it's pretty close. Anyhow, I want to welcome Alex Conn.
Yes,
We've got our guest for today, and the disembodied voice, as always, of Travis Clyburn.
Domine Patre, something.
A Filii,
I don't know.
Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
I feel like there is a LaCroix in there, a La Croix in there somewhere.
There is not a sparkling water.
Oh, okay.
That's not what holy water is?
You don't know.
It's
Yeah.
not LaCroix. Lacrosse.
Yeah. Lacrosse. There you go.
That was solid.
That's what it was supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Sweet. Well, how you been, Alex?
I've been good, man. I've been real good. I mean, I've been real busy, you know,
Yeah.
just riding up, riding down, riding up, riding down.
Where, between here and Vegas?
No, well, so end of last year, I was in Vegas every
Yeah.
Monday. I'll be there this Monday, but now it's just last Monday of the month for our show. We'll see what happens with it. I'm running out of time to do it, but, yeah, I'm back and forth. I mean, just a little bit of everywhere, you know, everywhere around LA, you know.
Gotcha.
Koreatown in the morning, Santa Monica in the evening, you know, up to the valley for something. So
Nice.
moving around, yeah.
Nice. And we had J-Light on last week.
Good man.
And so this is becoming the mustache series, the mustache
Yeah, I
season.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Who else can I get
I
with a
regret
mustache?
not having a mustache
Yeah.
for the first episode.
I know. You kind of messed it up.
I
Anyway.
regret trimming it this morning because now people are going to look at it, and I was in a rush.
No, I was
Yeah.
thinking you look good.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's
Nice,
way better than
solid.
mine.
Thanks.
I mean,
even mine's thin and
Yours
crispy.
Mine is
yours
new.
is like an open micer. It's just got to get there. It'll get there.
yeah, maybe a couple years.
You just need. It honestly does take a couple years for like your mustache to figure. Your mustache kind of has to go through puberty by itself. You know, it's got to be ugly. It's got to have an ugly face.
That's where we are. My wife wanted me to grow it,
Mm-hmm.
and this morning was like, maybe we should have you
You
shave.
should get rid of it. You just have to.
Just
so,
as I'm getting used to it.
When I was doing when I was where you are, everyone was like, all day, every day was busting my balls. Shave it.
Yeah.
A good way around that, grow a beard for 6 months, and then people won't look at it, and then you just get rid of the beard, and people are like, oh, sweet stash. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could do that.
You guys are both rocking the mustache and soul patch.
Yeah. Little flavor saver there.
Yeah. My wife wanted
I call
me to,
this disorganized religion right here, you know?
Hey, that's the name of the cult.
Oh,
look at that. Wow. That's amazing.
Actually, I call this organized. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, first soundboard.
Soundboard. I love it. I love it. Yeah, my wife.
Whenever you hear that sound, you're like, was that joke good or the worst?
No,
it's sort of like
it's either one.
it's sort of like hearing laughs at an open mic.
Very
sometimes.
scooped. It's never in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like laughs are a heckle at an open mic sometimes?
I feel like that delay. So in Vegas, I started in Vegas, and there's this great comic. Great dude, good comic. His name's Bruce Purcell, and
is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there. He goes to Japan sometimes. He's doing his own thing, but every now and then, from the very back of a bar, like 4 beats too late, you just hear a ha, and you're like, ah. And that's funny. And it would be every time he would wait until you start, like until you're like, all right, next one, and then he would laugh like, yep, give up.
That's great. There was a moment like that at the improv mic on Tuesday last week, where this guy got up, did a few jokes that all sort of tanked, and then was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do an old joke. Saying like I'm gonna get you guys with this one, and there was a comic over on the side that when he heard that transition, immediately he was the only one who started laughing. If you know Liam McEnany, shout out to Liam.
Like I'm gonna play the hits over here, and you're like, well, 3 minutes long in front of the booker. You should have opened with the hits.
Yeah, that should have been the whole thing.
Yeah.
Liam's been in the game for a minute, so
hot minute.
Hot minute.
Hottie. Yeah, man. All right, so you started in Vegas.
Started in Vegas.
Nice. And what drew you to stand up?
I worked. I was so when I was younger, I was really into like death metal. My cousin and I both, and we both had a Zoom, like a Microsoft Zoom, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
wait, what is that?
Or not Zoom. I'm thinking of the recorder Zune, Z-U-N-E. It was like
the Apple's.
Yeah,
it was
not the iPod.
It was Microsoft's iPod.
Yeah.
Fell away, but it had a software that was specific to it. And the reason I got it is because he'd torrent everything metal and give it all to me.
Nice.
And he was really into Opie and Anthony, so he just started giving me, like, when I was like 14, he was giving me Tosh and Burr and Rogan and Bobby Kelly and Patrice and all those. So I really started, as a preteen. My dad showed me like Richard Pryor when I was a kid, but when I was preteen, my cousin like got me hooked onto like New York comedy essentially and Boston comedy. And I was in conventions in Vegas for years, and I saw a Live Leak video, some people getting beheaded.
Oh,
and the next day at work, I got yelled at for unlocking a door 5 minutes too late, and I was like, all right, I'm done with, like, did anyone get beheaded? Oh, okay. All right. And from there, I kind of I started getting away from like corporate life, and, and I was like, I ended up unemployed for a while and was like, let's try stand up. And that was the thing. So
interesting. So what do you notice as a big difference between sort of West Coast and East Coast stand up? Or do you see as there being a difference? Maybe not.
I think we appeal to industry a lot more than they do, because
on the West Coast.
Yeah, here in LA, because it's underneath us. It's like it's the bed we lay in.
Yeah.
And they're kind of.
How does that come out? Do you think? Like, what do you mean by appealing to industry more?
New Yorkers are more, I feel like, I don't know, because I haven't been to New York. Like, I'm talking about the New York I grew up on. I hear that scene is changing as drastically as LA is, or that
it's become more PC now than even out here.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that there is a PC problem at the Cellar. Like, people are hanging around, like, writing blogs and shit, and they're just there.
Interesting.
They're there trying to, that's what I've heard. I don't know, but
trying to shake it up.
They're there and they're trying to, water it down,
Yeah.
So
make it worse.
But like their Williamsburg is our Echo Park or whatever, it's, I think there's, different aspects to it, but the other day we had Jared Freed at the Improv. I work at the Improv too. And
nice.
Jared Freed, I'd never heard of him. He's a New York guy, and he is that classic like loud, in your face, unapologetic, but likable, and you can't help but like him. And I'd never seen him, and or like a lot of people in LA are starting to like find out about Tim Dillon, that kind of loud, big, offensive. That's what I like. So yeah,
nice.
So I guess to answer your question, I feel like LA is more, what can be put on a sitcom,
right.
what act do I have to do to get Judd Apatow to look at me, or You know, how much of my dick do I have to cut off to appease, you know, the lady in HR? Sorry.
To cut off?
Yeah, I mean, pretty, you know.
Have you heard of anybody doing that?
I mean, I've heard. I mean,
other
if
than
your act is your
community,
dick,
right?
if your act is your dick,
Yeah.
people are cutting that thing in half just to just to take it easier on the HR lady.
All right.
So yeah.
Too much dick upsets HR. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, everyone knows. The HR ladies can only take a couple inches before they're
out.
I'm sorry. Is this what? Can I cuss on here? Or I don't know the rules,
cuss.
and I'm here talking about HR ladies and.
It'd be nice for him to finally edit out other people's cuss words other than mine.
Oh,
so I release, just so you know, and so all the listeners are aware, I do 2 versions.
Oh, you do a Walmart version?
Yeah, yeah. I do a low class and a high class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try to keep it Alan Jackson, so you only have to have one version.
Yeah,
Keep it Bill Engvall.
Yeah,
okay?
I gotta. Yeah,
We'll keep it post 2012 PG-13.
yeah.
Right?
I don't. I don't want you to have to need a second version for mine. I've edited podcasts. It sucks.
It's all right. It reminds me of what we talk about for the show notes.
Yeah.
For promos.
Yeah, that's
So,
good.
That's
Yeah.
good. Keeps me
You
motivated.
got to go through and just tirelessly remove the worst parts of my personality.
No.
Okay. And you're like, yeah, we should.
No.
Yeah, keep that F-bomb in because it really shows his anger.
It's part of the character.
But yeah, no. Sorry. Go ahead.
You've been working at the Improv. How long you been working there?
Oh, 2 years and 4 months.
How you liking it?
I hate every single day of it.
Do you really?
Yeah, I mean, well, so I worked at the Comedy Works in Denver when I moved here, and that was a very tight ship, and the weekdays were local scene, but the weekends were the best in the world. You know, the cool thing about the Improv is you get to watch your heroes and the best of the best, and you get to watch them on a Tuesday when they do bomb, you know, and you get to see what a failing Theo Vaughn looks like. That's good to see, you know.
Sure.
And, and also when you're around that high level of comedy so much, I think you hold yourself to I think that's the open mic trap, is we're all like, I'm the funniest guy here, and you're like, yeah, but
Who cares?
yeah, that's you know the old smartest guy with Down syndrome line from Waiting. You know, it's like, okay, cool, yeah, you're the best in the room, funny, you know, but what room are you in?
Yeah,
and that's what I think. I mean, like that's why I came to LA, was to be in a different room, to be in the conversation, not have the conversation, and yeah, I don't know where this was going. I don't know where it started, but so the Improv.
Your experience is the Improv.
I think that the Improv is a dying institution, thanks to HR ladies. I mean, we got bought out by a really big company, and I mean, it'll be it's TGI Fridays with a stage, is what it is, and
interesting.
It's in most markets, it's the club. In some markets, it's not even close to the club. It's never going to have the spirit that like a Cap City or a Comedy Works will, but it will provide, like, if you're just doing the road, it's a good circuit to be on, you know. I think the Hollywood Improv is a dumpster fire on a daily basis.
Really?
But that's also, it's a showcase. I mean, a lot of people I don't think realize that showcase clubs and like more of a road style, you know, 3-act club, they're very different experiences. So yeah.
Huh, and that's where you put the Hollywood Improv.
Yeah.
Showcase road.
Well, yeah, it's a showcase club. It's you know, it's 15-minute spots for the most part. Whereas if you're working at, you know, a major market at their big club, you're gonna see a 15, a 25, and a 45. Or, you know, whatever.
I see what you're saying.
And on a nightly basis at the Improv, you're gonna see 6 15s in a show. You know, so it's just different.
A lot of that is just the talent that's here, right? That wants work.
Well, yeah, and that's what it is it's made to be a workout club. That's why it's different, you know? So it's like, it's cool to see people doing their hour, you know what I mean? Like, it's cool. It's cool to be at the Comedy Works and to see guys, you know, do their act, but it's also really powerful to see the workout. So, I mean, the Improv is the Hollywood Improv is a workout club, you know, like the Store and the Factory are, but, yeah, it's all right. I don't know. It's been good. It's been, I've learned a lot. I've taken what I need to take from it, but I don't think I heard. I I mean, we all used to listen to podcasts where people say, like, oh, the door guy way, that's the way. And it's like, I know a lot of people are door guys, and I guess it kind of works a little bit, but even, like, you know, old door guys from the store say, yeah, but it's not what it used to be, you know?
Oh, sure.
So there's arguments as to if it's worth, you know, I wouldn't move here for that job. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. So you don't think that path to stage time is the same anymore?
Again, I think, well, for me, it's a path to HR lady stage time, you know? It's a path to,
Are they trying to make you PC at the Hollywood Improv?
I mean,
kind of.
that's what I'd call it. But
Interesting.
I mean, like, before our employee showcases, they'll send out emails that give you rules not to cross, and I think
that's crazy.
I think once you're past, I don't think anyone's looking at them anymore, but I also I think they are looking at content, because I've had better sets than people past, but I'm by no means try to, you know, and somebody asked, so I was working on some new material recently at West Side, and I just 3-minute set. I went very dark out the gate. Just that's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
And I didn't bomb. Like, I had a I didn't get laughs, but I didn't bomb, if that makes sense.
All right.
So it was like, I didn't feel bad about it. I understood that was the name of the game I went up there to play, and I had a good time. And a lot of comics came up to me and were like, yo, that joke was good, you know, and you know, XYZ. But the people in the room who just got done watching Neil Brennan's show, they didn't really care for it, you know? so
Interesting.
But so somebody approached, you know, one of my good friends and was like, he's so likable. Why does he, like, do that? And for me, what comedy is if I am playing ball, like, the reason I got into it was because I left a corporate job that paid me good money.
Right.
Not to make money, but, like, that was the catalyst. Like, the freedom of speech portion is bigger to me than the rest of it. So,
yeah,
you know, I look at it as, like, the way I view comedy and how I use it is, if I am playing ball, I will never have fun, and in that effort, I won't do well. But if I'm doing what I want, I will have a lot of fun, and it will be better for me, you know? So,
yeah. And that's what stand-up's all about, right?
Yeah, man.
Just for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
No,
everyone,
I understand.
You know, when you're uncomfortable, when you walk into a show and you're uncomfortable in that room, you're not going to perform as well.
Right.
So,
and if you're not having fun, no one else is going to have that much fun
no one's
either.
having fun watching you.
Yeah.
So for me, it's fun to just throw a trans joke out there to open, and let's
see what happens.
Let's figure out. I like to open. So I used to love to, like, start soft and kind of get into the darker stuff as I go, and now I like to just open on something. Just
start hard.
Just to let it. Yeah. Just to let everyone know. Like,
here's the game I'm gonna play.
So yeah, let's see. Boom, this is who I am, and this half of the room's cool, and this one I got to work on. So
yeah.
That's what it is for me. Yeah.
So watching some of these pros eat it some nights, have you developed or noticed any tactics that they have that work or that are different than what you see at the open mic when they don't work?
You know what I think a big part of it is? I honestly, and I don't even know that I've seen pros do this, but like look them in the eyes when you're bombing. Like,
you mean the audience?
Yeah, like, people are performing to the space above their heads usually, and then when we start bombing, that gets worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, if you're like,
never withdraw. That's defeat in my eyes.
Yeah, make it about, like,
look them in the eye as they don't laugh at you.
Yeah.
What are you not laughing at?
I love I subscribe to the old, like, Patrice O'Neill. If everyone in the room is laughing, it's not a good joke. Like, somebody in the room has to be affected by the joke.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a joke, you know? So,
well, it's much easier then to be a good comedian now, right?
What?
Well, because everyone's offended by something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. I guess. I mean,
oh, man.
You still have to make them laugh. I mean, everyone's offended by something, but I don't know. I feel like you also have to realize, like, that's another thing that that's what I think is happening as far as when I say, like, corporatizing the comedy out here is your workout, you're constantly in this space where your crowds are the people that get offended. So you mold yourself to what's going on. I don't know. Play that clicking TikTok noise. I'm getting bored saying this.
Oh, man. All right.
Well,
let's move right on.
Okay,
let's move right on.
Sorry.
Okay, I just want to...
There you go. No, I just feel like I'm very bad at tying the ribbon on the end of it, so I'll just keep going. So sorry.
Yeah, no, fair enough. All right, soapbox over for Alex Conn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soapbox. Thanks. Yeah.
Where have you done comedy? Started in Vegas.
Vegas. I moved to Chicago. I was there for 5 weeks. I moved to Denver. And then was in Denver for about a year, and then LA for a couple of years. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was all right.
Why so short a time in Chicago?
Why?
Yeah.
So I sold everything. I mean, I didn't want to do improv. I was doing stand up in Vegas, doing bar shows, and doing the kind of material I like.
Chicago's an improv city, like a mother.
Yeah, but I think it was like this understanding that I needed half adventure, half like, open my eyes a little. And I went to take improv classes at Second City because it's really hard to tell your mom like, hey, I quit a career to go be an open micer, So it's like, I'm going to go to school for it because we're in my family. That's the language of approaching success, right? So it's like, I'm going to a comedy school. No,
good for you.
I sold everything I had, donated everything I couldn't sell, and I went from, a life to a backpack of clothes, and I moved to Chicago. And the day before I moved, I was going to be renting a mattress in a living room for $500 a month, which is really good in Chicago.
Sounds great.
And the day before I got out there, they gave the room to someone else. I think it was because the husband didn't want another dude in the house. I was literally, I was sharing a 1-bedroom with a married couple. So
you wanted a chick?
Yeah, they ended up giving it to a girl. So I
sexist.
the day before I moved, I found out, well, I don't have a place to stay. So I was like, well, we'll do hostels and we'll figure it out. And then the day I got there, my improv classes got canceled. So,
jeez.
Yeah, it was like, I ended up, I rode the train up and I found the hostel, and I got the call as I was like checking in at the hostel that the classes were canceled. And I just like, I kind of started crying in an alley in Chicago. It's like, well, what the now,
Yeah.
But the coolest thing that ever happened, because I went and I got to do some of my brand of humor in Chicago and had a wake up call, and then
because it didn't go over well, or
not even that it didn't go over well. It's just like Chicago's just as PC of a scene as West Hollywood is.
I found Chicago to be friendly, like they want friendly, happy kind of.
I don't know, like a lot of their comedy scene is very like, or at least maybe in just the where I had stumbled onto and in my area, it was just very, it was very like for instance, I used to have a joke. I don't even need to tell the joke. I used to have a joke. It was kind of an offensive joke. And when I went out there, and I think it was like the first time I'd ever said it on stage, was my first night in Chicago, and it was at an open mic, and I just threw it out there. And the host was like, he was like, something about like, I don't like it, but it's topical, so I'll allow it.
What?
In the middle of my set, and I'm like,
oh, wow.
You'll allow it? Like, it's midnight at a bar in Chicago. Like, you'll allow it? Like, where'd I just move? So I found it to be a little more PC, Maybe it was just the side of the river I was on and where I was at, so I mean, I had a good time, but I just, when it all happened, I was like, all right, New York or Denver in 3 days. And then it turned into 5 weeks of kind of lived in an artist house and had some fun and did some open mics and did a little bit of work and donated some blood and moved to Denver. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that was short but sweet.
In Chicago.
Just enough time.
The Windy City.
Yeah.
Just blew through.
Hey.
Hey. There it is. Nice. So, did you take those as signs from God to not do improv? Or did you have a different understanding of how God worked?
I've seen enough Saturday Night Live to not need a higher power to tell you how the improv's going to be.
Hey, now that's sketch Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah, okay,
how dare
fine.
You? How dare you?
I've been to comedy sports with a Z. I know what I'm getting into. I told you I moved because I couldn't look my mother in the eye and tell her I'm going to go do bar comedy in another city.
Yeah.
But sign, like I believe in sign from God. Yep.
Really? Or not?
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't get the sense from you, at least from the comedy I've seen you do, that you would really ascribe to that kind of idea.
No, I personally, I don't. I grew up in a very hypocritically religious household. Like, we didn't practice enough.
I mean, the best kind.
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
Right?
We practiced just enough for me to be like, all right, what the going on here. You know,
What
like
religion did your family
Christians
want to practice?
Christianity.
But that's so huge. What branch of
You know, good old
Christianity?
commercialized, like the biggest church in Vegas, or yeah, like Central Christian Church was the biggest church in Vegas. It was the, you know, just the middle of the road, capture as many people as we can kind of Christian church. Like, right? Like, isn't that like modern Christian? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Like
I mean, like
non-denominational?
televangelist or non-denominational, Pentecostal.
yeah, let's say non-denominational.
All right.
But no, not even, it was just like, yeah, maybe. I mean,
I think usually if you don't know what kind of Christian you are, it's just
not.
Baptist.
yeah.
Yeah, like they
Pretty
don't
generic.
call themselves that.
Yeah.
Just need to be baptized.
Just- okay,
to be
yeah.
saved.
Like that's like the lighter church I went to as a
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're just Christian, you know.
No, this wasn't even the kind that you need to be baptized. This was the kind that it was like, hey, we got a rock band in a cafeteria,
Yeah.
and we're here to spread the word of God. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
How'd you get to heaven in that church?
Oh,
Or was that even discussed?
I didn't pay enough attention. I'll
Yeah.
tell you this. One time, years after I quit going, I went back because Mr. T was there. That's the kind of church it was.
Damn, that
Nice.
church could get Mr. T.
That's
That's
Yeah.
not an easy
incredible.
booking.
No, yeah, that's a.
Wow.
I'll tell you the worst line I've ever heard
Yeah.
anyone in a church say was, I took off the necklaces because I wanted people to know me for the gold in my heart.
Hey.
What gold in your heart, Mr. T? Yeah, no, exactly.
That's
so
not bad.
that's the kind of Christian church I went to growing up. The
Yeah.
kind that would get Mr. T to come do a pop
That's
in, you know.
amazing.
So what would
run
have
his type
driven-
5 of motivation.
What would have driven you away from that deep foundational faith?
No, there was just a lot of in the house, like in the home. I've learned as of late that the kind of homes that say like you don't talk about what goes on here in other places are usually homes that have some die. You don't tell people what goes on in these walls. Not that I was like molested or anything, but
Yeah,
but
that's
no,
what your parents said to you, though?
my I come from 2 homes. I come from
Gotcha.
I come from a house and I come from a home. And the house I grew up in,
Yeah.
is equal. What do they call it when you lose your kids? Equal custody homes. One a home, one a house.
I don't know. Terrible?
The house,
Amazing?
yeah, the house that practiced Christianity.
Uh-huh.
You know, there was a constant arguments and no respect for each other. And like, I was like 12, and the name call, like the people. If you saw, like, based on socioeconomic class kind of thing and where my dad was, you'd have been like, good life for those kids. But then, like, you see that, like, lady yelling at her kids at the Social Security office. That was kind of more how we were raised. So, like, no Social Security office, but a lot of, like, hollering at your kid and throwing shoes at him, you know? And it was just a lot of...
And that was the religious household.
that was the religious household, yeah. And so there'd be a lot of, like, you know, pray to God, you mother... like literal, sorry, I know, but like just the way like my
Yeah,
you know, like
that's amazing.
this-
And that was your
who knows
dad?
if this will ever get around? No, it was the house. You know, just argument. It was a
Right.
moment of it was a constantly heated, you know, environment.
Right. I'm just trying to figure. So you said you grew up like joint custody.
You know. So my dad and my stepmom were not the greatest of people dealing with their own issues, and they took it out on their children, and they made us thank God about it. Okay, that's what happened.
Well, sometimes
Unhappy marriages hiding behind Jesus.
Sure.
Okay?
Well,
the
now-
oldest story in the book.
Let me ask you this though: do you think them without religion would have been worse, or them without religion would have been better?
The same? I don't know.
Really?
I mean, we wouldn't have had to have went meat free when the black family came over once a week or whatever the thing was. I don't know. Like
I don't understand that at all.
So,
you
like-
knew a black vegan
yeah,
family?
like this family. Yeah, my dad's friends would come over, and
Okay.
not that we called them the black, but like. You know, like when you're being woke and you have the other family over and they're, you know, and God, cut all this. I'm canceled. I don't even know how many people listen to this, and I'm gonna get canceled.
There are 50 or
Yes,
so people who listen to this.
Very influential people in the church.
Influential people.
No. So
That sounds like nothing to do with religion at all.
no,
Sounds like
yeah, they were people hiding behind God. I said this. But no, so like we would have this, like, my dad had these people that he worked with who were
amazing.
like, who are so religious that they were like, we don't eat meat, and we
gotcha.
don't.
What does
And
not eating meat have to do with?
I don't know where it falls in, but it fell in somewhere.
Yeah.
Expert
And so,
Seth? Where the is that? Where would that come from?
I don't know what religion would ascribe to that. I mean, there's some of that in my religion.
I know, like beef on Friday.
Right.
maybe
right.
it was a personal preference of the family. I don't know.
Oh, so
but,
they just
might
but
be
we
it.
had these.
And were
Yeah, we had these, like, what happened was after, like, the family unit started, smoldering.
your own family.
Yeah,
unit.
the house, the religious house. Once things got weird over there, and I mean, and not as weird as they were gonna get. I don't need to talk about that, but like, like I don't think it's weird for a lot of family. Like, again, I grew up in the kind of house where you say we don't talk about this, and then you realize, like, well, it's a sibling with a drug problem, and sexual issues. It's every family. I was raised to be ashamed of my own, but be proud of it at the same time.
Interesting.
So we had this family, like, as things were going bad, my dad was like, all right, we're buckling up on religion around here.
Yeah.
We're doing Bible study once a week with this family I work with who just so happened to be vegetarian. And we would eat and, like, we never ate healthy in our house, like, ever. It was just this, like, show. It, like, I quickly was like,
gotcha.
It quickly became like we're doing this to keep up with the Jones of Christianity, like, we're and it just, like, we weren't good people living by any code, and we definitely didn't eat by any code, but when, on the days that we studied the Bible, we do, and
interesting.
I tried to be, like, real, let's, and I just, it quickly became obvious that the hypocrisy was obvious very quickly, I guess. So it turned me away from it. But that being said, I think I've told you this before, like, the way I feel about religion is I feel like when used right, it's the proper voluntary mechanism for people. It's a fraternity for people. Like, you put your good clothes on, you show up, and you don't cuss. Yeah. And if you ever lose your job, your kids get food. Okay, like, it's voluntary. It's a community. It's a communal establishment of, like, some form of code and norms, and I enjoy that. But the way I was raised, I saw it very differently,
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So where do you fall now personally? Are you spiritual? Is it atheism? Is it just nothing?
I just don't have time for it,
Who cares?
Like,
Who cares anymore?
I mean, like, I have a feeling, like, I think my body will get eaten by worms no matter where my soul goes. So
Gotcha.
I just focus on the fact that the worms are going to get me. But who knows where the soul's going to go? And I hope it's as cool as mushrooms. That's what I hope,
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's as cool as psychedelics. I hope what we've been led to believe is true. But no, I I don't know. I hope it's great.
Yeah. Eternal life? Do you believe in an afterlife or a resurrection or?
I don't know. I believe that the electrons in your body that the worms eat, whatever the molecules are that end up inside the worm will become a different, will become the worm's babies, which will become the bird's food, which will become the tiger's food, which will become the pets of humans. I don't know. Where's it all go? I don't know.
Okay, but so, like, do you think there's?
I believe that there is consistency to whatever that's to our spirit. Yes, I just don't understand the mechanism for where it goes.
Gotcha. Yeah, fair enough.
And I don't have enough people drinking my Kool-Aid to really, like, if I had a cult like you do, I would have a good book. I would have I would have these ideas all sorted out, but I haven't.
You don't need, you gotta build it for them to come.
I know. I just you're right. You're right.
You gotta start writing that book, Alex.
I know. I want the Patreon before the content. I know, but isn't that what everyone in LA wants? You produce podcasts. Everyone wants $5 listeners. No one wants a $5 show.
Bridge.
Boom. All right. Sorry. But no, I think.
What would your religion entail? What would your cult be? What would you focus on?
It's sexual favor, definitely. Only because the monkeys do it, and I feel like the bonobos have it down. Okay.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I don't know.
Like
I'm
salvation
the leader. I'm the leader. I get to everyone's wives. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's gonna have to be. I'm the leader. I'm going to fornicate with the wives. In my religion, fornication is okay. Marriage is not, actually. We're getting rid of...
Then how do you fornicate if they're not married?
It's all fornication, baby. I don't know.
All right.
But
I
no.
mean, at least you're honest about it.
No, I mean, I think I definitely would put emphasis on, you know, healthy mind, healthy body, take care of yourself, you know.
Yeah.
We're not keeping kosher. That's garbage. That's a religion I can't get on.
Judaism?
You can't have cheese and beef at the same time? No.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Beef and
Invented
cheese is
this.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It is good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bacon, I'm eating it. That's
Right.
my religion, you eat bacon once a day. Other religions, no bacon. My religion, that's how you pray.
So far, so good.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
down.
You
I'm down
make
with the
bacon 5 times a day to the east. That's my religion, okay?
Oh, man.
We've
That's fun.
We've got a pig problem in the South. Let's go and
Is there really?
yeah. Pigs are destroying this. Wild boars.
Yeah.
It's Texas, right?
Yeah, I mean
Huge
it's
problem.
Oklahoma, Texas. Yeah, like to the point where they're like destroying the street and like they're yeah.
You think
Have you ever seen those videos of like really cool dudes with like machine guns hanging outside of helicopters just lighting
Yeah.
up pigs?
No, not pigs.
Yeah.
What's that guy who wrote Cat Scratch Fever? What's his name?
Ted Nugent, the
Ted Nugent.
Nuge, yeah.
Dude, he'll ride around in a helicopter with
Yeah.
a fully automatic chain gun.
Yeah.
Well, they're so
Like,
destructive.
picks up, never goes back for him.
No, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
so
yeah.
destructive to the environment that it's open season on them. Like, just
Right.
kill them. Like the government's
Yeah,
like,
there
yeah,
you
if you'll kill them, if you'll spend your own money on bullets, kill them. Yeah,
Right.
So
There you go.
Because they're even wild boars, right? They're
Yeah.
they're enormous.
enormous.
Like 500 pounds and
they're
very
pretty
violent.
aggressive.
yeah,
Right?
and they will. Yeah, I mean they damage infrastructure. They everything up. They're intense. They're
And if they see a person, they're gonna them up.
yeah. Have you ever
Yeah.
heard? You ever heard about like what happens to a farmer that falls in the pen? You know about this?
Yeah.
Like pigs eat people alive. They turn our
Yeah.
bones to dust. That's
Yeah.
what they do. So
Yeah.
we're gonna cook them 5 times a day.
They're crazy. Team.
yeah,
What would
team-
you call your cult?
I don't know, dude. I was trying to think of that.
Team Baconator.
The Baconator. The Baconator.
I
That's
don't know.
that's who we pray to. Actually, the Baconator is our god.
Wendy's.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dave, what's his name? Dave what? Williams? Oh, what's his name?
Travis is gonna be on.
I swear to Wendy, if I hear one more time.
Dave.
Owner of
Yeah,
Wendy's.
he's gonna look this
Yeah,
up.
let's check this out. Wendy's. Oh, go yourself.
Okay.
Parent company.
Dave
Who's
Thomas.
their Dave
Dave
Thomas?
Thomas.
Who's their parent company? Scroll up real quick. Oh, Wendy's
No,
is
they are
the
the-
parent
yeah.
organization.
Yeah, Wendy's
Yeah,
company.
they are the
Okay.
parent.
Well, cool.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Does that say
Doing it.
mom on her collar? Cryptic. I like it.
Ooh.
Very family oriented. Very Jesus. That's a cult, dude. Praying to the Baconator.
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden imagery in that particular symbol.
Yeah.
I think like he does have a daughter named Wendy, or it was based on his mother, but then his daughter, Dave Thomas's daughter, looks exactly like his mother, so now she runs the company.
Well,
Well, there you go.
It's a cult of redheads and
Yeah.
delicious bacon.
Dirty
Yeah.
nepotism.
this is the religion I want.
Just bacon.
Redheads and bacon, dude. Redheads and bacon. Okay, sorry.
Interesting. All right. So how do you feel about religious people who are not hypocritical? You're okay with them? Or do you feel like there's no difference? Are all religious people hypocritical?
I feel like if you have time to sit on a couch,
Yeah.
then you should have a religion. But if you don't have time to sit on a couch, don't worry about it.
So do you have a religion, Alex?
I don't have time. Like this is like a scheduled time. It took us months to schedule this hour on a couch.
It did take a while.
I think if you don't have much
It's
going
true.
on, it's very important to have something you put before yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's very important. And
Yeah.
a lot of religious people, I think, tend to act in accordance with a way that I think is better than... I used to harp on religion. I used to think like... Sorry, I don't want to sniffle into your good mics here. I used to be one of those people who like I played metal bands and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you fuck religion, you know, and now that religion has, you know, greatly vanished from our society, I kind of miss it. I miss good people.
Yeah. Was there
Because
any-
like, go ahead.
Was there any catalytic change for that, or just as time has gone on, you've seen religion go away? You're like, there was maybe something good about it.
No, I don't even think. Yeah, I don't even think it's like. I mean, maybe me moving to Los Angeles, maybe it's different other places, definitely, but
Yeah.
no, it's just I feel like people used to be more family oriented. I feel like people used to sit down and eat a meal together, and I feel and like it's the worst part of my childhood was sitting down and having these vegetarian meals, but also it kept me off of drugs. And I didn't do drugs until I was an adult, and now I do.
Yeah.
Because I was deprived of them, which I think is the way you're supposed to raise your children. You're supposed to my parents were very heavy on like back in the MySpace days. My mom was like, I'm keeping an eye on, and like my parents kept a watchful eye, and we would like my friends whose parents didn't would like mock me, and they all work at Wendy's actually. All of them.
There you go.
Two of them were one of them has moved on to bigger and better Del Tacos, but both of them work at Wendy's.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's great.
Which full circle
is it
maybe they had it right. Maybe it was
Full circle.
Maybe if it said mom on more of their collars, we'd have been fine, okay? But
maybe so.
No, I think that religious people are like that mechanism for I feel like I don't feel like you need religion to raise decent people, but I feel like people with religion typically have that standard operating procedure, and they have a you don't have to be religious to I don't even want to say be a good parent, but like to foster a healthy generation of people. Our current generation of youth, and even the last one, even mine, like it's getting worse and worse. Like if people,
in what way?
If you look at kids now, if you look at people in the direction we're going, we're much more selfish. We don't care about others. We rely on technology to communicate. We're not moving in the right direction. And in my opinion, and sure, I'm a funny daddy. I'm fighting it, whatever. But I feel like
I thought you said funny daddy.
I'm a funny daddy, dude.
I was like, what the?
That's what they. So listen, if you go around these open mics, you're gonna hear girls saying, "Alex, that's the funny daddy," and that's what it is.
The mustache, you instantly become.
And that's what.
Daddy.
Yeah.
And have you guys ever seen the great organized religion piece, Red State? Have you ever seen Red State?
Oh yeah.
No.
Great. Kevin Smith.
Whoa,
movie.
Kevin Smith. It was like his first like serious movie he made, but it was. It's also very, if you've seen Dogma, you understand the direction he's going to approach anything religious from, but essentially a Westboro Baptist-y kind of knockoff, get into a firearm standout with the ATF. And it's great. John Goodman plays the head of the local, ATF chapter that answers the call, and there's some negotiation, and it's a good time.
Red State.
Yeah, it's like a
Not
Westboro
Red
Baptist
Dawn.
meets Waco kind of thing.
That's
All
Waco's in it. But anyway, in it, they would call their religious leader Daddy. So, like, there's this great scene of this woman hanging out a window, this, like, 48-year-old woman who looks like she works at a gas station, and she's hanging out a window firing off rounds at federal agents, and she's like, "Get 'em, Daddy!" So that's what I would be funny Daddy. That's what I am.
There you go.
I want people to fire
Daddy, your
upon
cult name. Now you know.
Yeah.
There it is.
And God, there are enough anti-government on my cell phone. They've heard enough of it that for me to condone this right now, I can't. But if I had a religion, and
what would be the thing that would cause you to actually take up arms against? What would they have to do?
Double canceled. What would they have to do?
What would they have to come to you to take?
I think I don't even think it's me. I think there's going to be a huge rude awakening if this eventually somebody's going to organize an effort to take guns away from people.
Okay.
And cops are going to be forced to go do it, and cops are going to die doing it.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Yeah.
And for me, what I think it's going to be is it's going to be one of those kind of things. It's going to be, for me, honestly, the one that's like, I talk about technology a lot, and you guys know about social credit scores in China? Have you heard of this?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's really like that Black Mirror episode.
We're essentially
rate people.
on the cusp of that.
Yeah.
You think our government doesn't have it? I mean, we're not instituting it. Sure, we're not, like, they control the means of everything. So, like, if you smoke a pack a day, they're probably going to give you healthcare because, like, they're paying attention. And
I love so much.
If we give healthcare to the government, that's what's going to happen. And you're all eating way too much Wendy's to really want the government to pick what happens to your liver.
Oh my gosh, I love.
Because if we incorporate a social credit score into America,
that's terrifying.
And we also take up public health care, much the way that Lyme disease is in Canada. Google it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I think it was Lyme disease. They don't even recognize it. I swear, I'm probably an idiot. I'm definitely an idiot, and I'm probably mischaracterizing a story. But the way I remember it was like, I think it was Lyme disease or something. It's just not recognized as an actual illness in Canada. And if you get it, you're just kind of walking around because the people who fix everything, they don't look at that as something they fix. So for me, the thing is it's social credit scores. It's complete over, like, I'm more anti-government than anti-religious, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who knows me is going to be like, well, he made it 30 minutes into a podcast without bringing it up, so good for him. Yeah. But,
yeah. How do you feel about Sam Tripoli?
Oh, I think.
Do you think he's
I
onto
love
something?
him.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
You know what I think? And I love him the same way I love Alex Jones. In that, like, and that Sandy Hook didn't happen. No.
Go on. Oh, man.
That was actually the government kicking in the door.
They're here.
They're here.
I was just asking questions.
And then, but it's
oh yeah. All these helicopters.
You're like, who is? And it's Mitt Romney kicking in the door. Who said what about Mormons? Boom.
Man, we could have had Mitt Romney as president. You know that? That kills me on the inside a little bit.
Well, you would have had one of your own.
I know. He could have been up
your
there.
Black Panther.
My superhero.
I thought you were going to say he's your black president. I was like, yeah. Kind of.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, by the way, it turns out because of the Canadian government, they do recognize Lyme disease as a disease, but it's a last resort. So in other words, you could spend 5 to 10 years getting tested for everything else while Lyme disease eats away at you.
Okay.
And they've only diagnosed 700 cases of Lyme disease officially in Canada, while in America, like 100,000. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Anecdotally, when the government gets to pick what they fix you for, and they're paying attention to everything you do, maybe if you eat at Wendy's every day, they're going to go, you know what? You lose a foot. You lose a foot. And so for me, that's the like, I'm not taking up arms. I don't have time. I don't have time.
I've had that thought too. I think something would have to really get up for me to care enough. Like, things are too comfortable. I think that's why we'd never have an American Revolution anymore. Because we're like, well, I'm going to just tweet and take a dump in my clean water. Who cares?
I think the economic meltdown that probably will happen will turn us into that overnight, and within a week, half our population will be dead. That's what I truly feel like there will be a great equalizing, and it will probably happen in New York and L.A.
It'd have to be economic.
And it's economical, It's going to be, well, the water didn't turn on anymore because, you know.
The dollar drops to zero.
Right, something.
You can't get anything anymore.
But I mean,
and then this city would tear itself apart.
If you look at what a lot of governments are, a lot of Federal Reserve Bank, a lot of what's the term for like
Currency?
a supreme bank of a land? I'm an idiot. No, not a national bank. You get what
there
I'm
is
saying.
the National
Like
Reserve, the GDP.
Yeah, no. So
exactly
the
what you're
Federal Reserve?
So the Federal Reserve is our bank, right? What do they call a bank that gives all the other banks money? God, I'm an idiot. Either way, in like
I feel like that's the Federal Reserve.
We call it the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the name of a private company. They are a type of bank that is like
central bank.
a central bank. There you go,
Yeah.
central bank. So as far as like monetary meltdown, like every central bank in the world is watering down their own currency to compete with each other, and eventually one of them's going to hit zero. And nowadays, If the one that hits 0 just so happens to send all of their, just so happens to supply, like when China pops, Australia's going to have no one to sell all that ore to. So they're popping a little bit too. So
China pops were all gone.
Yeah.
But China's not going to pop, though.
Well, first off, coronavirus wipes out half the population.
They're going to be
guys
better
no one
off.
wants to
Have you
work
guys
anymore.
seen Sam Tripoli talk about that?
No, I have
Oh,
not.
I love it, dude. That's what
Deep.
gets me
Oh.
going. He said, somebody else posted this, someone that runs in that whole like circle of Tripoli people. I don't know if it was Tripoli specifically, but he was saying, all these people that they're trying to quarantine, maybe those are just dissenters that they're using facial recognition technology
Right, to round up.
to find
Yeah.
because of
that's
all
terrifying.
because there are these massive riots going on in Hong Kong that we don't know anything
the
about.
revolution is
Yeah.
nigh. Like they're
Yeah.
trying to overthrow the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
That's a really good point.
And
man.
what he said was, he goes, if you were worried about getting contaminated, would you be quarantining people without face masks? Like, apparently there's video of dudes with machine guns quarantining people
Wow.
without hazmat suits on. And I haven't seen the videos. I don't have time. Again, it took me a month and a half to figure out an hour to sit on a couch with my buddy. I don't have time to look all this up. But all I'm saying is I believe that that's happening.
Interesting.
Or in some part of the world, that is happening.
Right.
And there are a lot of things that, that's the problem is when the media, when the government and the media are as friendly as they are,
Yeah.
you don't really get the full story sometimes. So, or you don't even get the story sometimes. So I think at some point, like,
You think that's where America is
like
now?
the Dakota Access Pipeline to me is an example of if the government did it to my family, I'd pick up a gun.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened to my family yet, and nobody is teaching the whole damn country about the fact that we're like pressure washing Indians in December with freezing water. You know what I mean? Because we're trying to get them to leave their land.
Talking about Native Americans.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about curry restaurants in downtown Denver. Pay attention. No, but yeah, so like the way that governments, I definitely believe that governments are already acting in a way that is disgusting.
Yeah.
And like the more we start to see it, I think there'll be a rise up.
There will be a reckoning. All right.
It'll probably be because they crash Snapchat though. That's the part. Is they're gonna
or TikTok.
The government's gonna
TikTok.
like what was that Netflix battle? Okay,
TikTok.
good. Okay, cool. Oh, was that a TikTok
It was a
or was
TikTok
that
joke.
a?
It wasn't a wrap it up joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. But
Netflix documentary?
no, what was that? Net neutrality was all about like a legal battle with Netflix and like Verizon or something, wasn't it? Isn't that what it? I don't know
which
I'm
companies
speaking
were
out of turn.
involved,
I'm
but-
like that chick on Rogan now that everyone's been mocking for a week. You guys seen this?
Who's that?
No, what happened?
No.
New York Times chick. What's her name?
Oh, yeah, she the bed. I
That
remember.
was
Yeah.
that was a while ago.
Oh,
right?
well, yeah, I'm becoming her on this. I'm bringing it. I don't even know what a central bank is.
I mean, dude, you should have done your research before coming on here.
I
always-
got all my like religious hatred ready in the car ride over. I was
And
thinking
then we
about
turned on the government.
yeah, and then yeah.
I tried to give you a chance to get it all out.
I know you said you have you talked. Do you talk about politics on this very often?
No.
Okay,
Not very often.
We'll get into it.
But
I think that
yeah.
here, this is a prime example. I think
Yeah.
religion is going away because the government is stepping in. Religion is a form of statism. Or at least it used to be used as a form of statism in which it had its fingers in everything because it had power of everything. Nowadays, people look at their pope as Barack Obama. And they ignore and they go, remember the last cool pope? This pope sucks, but the last pope was good. They're all kids, okay? Every pope is the same.
Oh,
That's
boy.
So
Yeah.
I think that we truly are, as a society, getting away from religion because a lot of that mechanism for religion, people are getting from the government. You know, that safety net. They're getting the help they need, not from being decent to their neighbors, but from being to their neighbors and being entitled to something.
Yeah. Paying some taxes.
I also think, you know what else I've noticed a lot of too is it's like, because I used to, like, I was like 19, I didn't even know, what CrossFit was. And my cousin was like, you got to check this out. And I go in there, and it's a bunch of godless heathens because they had given they had created this community, their own religion essentially, around athleticism.
Yeah.
And they all ate a certain way.
Yeah.
And they all treated each other a certain way. And when one person got sick, people would like call them and be like, hey man, didn't see you at the gym today. Is everything okay? And they created their own fulfillment for the religious mechanism, whatever that is inside of us, that communal need. They filled
Tribalism.
it. Yeah, there you go. Their tribe. They created their literal tribe around a gym. And I think most people, we are of this opinion that we're all of one tribe that is the United States. And kind of not. I mean, it's a little too big to be a tribe, right? Yeah. I mean, that would explain why we're arguing so much. But I think that government has filled that role for religion in a lot of people's lives, and they put their morality in their government, just the way that, like, there are people who have committed atrocious acts in the name of their religion, and they're like, well, man, I got to slaughter these people for God,
And now that's happening on behalf of political candidates.
Sorry,
right?
I know what you were doing. I just but now people are they're placing. They used to put their morality in their God or in their that's what this is. This is we act in accordance with this because this waters our garden. And nowadays, I think people act in a way in accordance of like polite society has turned into not what is right, but what is allowed and what is legal because of the law and because of government. And now that's how we organize our lives. We used to do right and wrong based on religion, and now we do right and wrong based on what will get us thrown in prison.
Yeah.
So to me, the modern religion is government.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. I like that ending. I like that ending.
I did really like that.
Cut.
No, I just want to end on one question.
Sorry.
Cut it all out.
Who is going to be the next leader of the government church?
Oh,
that's where we're going to end. Everyone's
the next
prediction.
Leader. The next leader. The next leader.
Or who will lead it?
I don't know who's going to run in 6 years. I don't know. Or I don't know who's running in 5 years. I don't know. But the current leader is going to maintain his hold.
All right. That's okay.
And I don't know many people who actually understand politics who disagree with that.
Yeah.
Who look at the
current.
Not even who understand what it is to go out and to rally support from a base. I don't think anyone who actually understands the political game is looking at this and going, anyone has. I mean, Bernie has as much of a chance. Bernie's not going to. What I think they're going to steal it from Bernie.
As they did last time.
Huh?
Yeah, like they did last time.
Yeah, so I'll make this as quick as I can.
Oh my gosh.
But there's video and I love it.
Yeah.
Here's the political
You are so narcissistic.
Here's the political no, because I like visual aids. I'm a dumb person. My brain gets foggy.
Okay.
The political spectrum, I
drugs.
feel all the business is right in the middle, skewing slightly left.
Okay.
And I heard people online the other day not people online, I heard people on CNN referring to Bernie bros and Bernie supporters as the same as they referred to them as brown shirts, as social media brown shirts, as Nazi supporters. That's who used to support the Nazis. Jeez. They referred to people who support Trump as brown shirts and people who support Bernie as brown shirts. And what I see it as is that the far left and the far right both have the same problem with the government, and that is that it's not working. But people in the middle are arguing over 20 degrees left and 20 degrees right, and people on the outside fringes are all being labeled as dissenters and Nazis, and we're seeing it. And I think that the Democratic committee will steal it from Bernie again, as they already are. If you watch any of what's going on with these shadow app and all that, they're going to steal it from him.
What Elizabeth Warren said, which was a blatant lie.
And not only that, but again, we don't have time to get into all that, but I feel that the political parties, I feel like whoever runs it is going to be more of a centrist, and I feel like majority of people are getting further away from the center because they don't see the system as working. Fair enough. I feel like people who are far left have the same issues as people who are far right, and they just need fingers to point at.
Gotcha. All right.
But Trump's going to run this mother for a while.
And for the next 4.
Even if he loses, he's not giving the up.
No,
I mean,
what are you talking
they're
He's
about?
out of his mind, dude.
They're looking
really
for
Telling
an,
you, man.
You really think he's gonna have his like people?
Do you
who
think
voted
he'll
for
give
him
it up in 5 years when his 8 are done?
Rise up?
Assuming he wins justly, or assuming not justly, but assuming he wins
fairly,
and keeps it,
which I'm assuming he will.
which I'm assuming he will too. Do
Yeah.
you think he will give it? You think he wouldn't give it up at 4 years, but you think he will give it up at 8 years?
Maybe.
Do you think if he's willing to give it up, that it's just because the system has been corrupted so much that he knows who he's giving it to?
Well, my biggest worry with him, if he lost to Hillary, was him dissenting. You know what I mean? Like
that
creating.
would not have happened.
Why would you not think that would happen? He's the most narcissistic person ever. He would
Wait,
take
are you
all
saying
of
we're
his
not
followers.
capable of civil war?
I don't think we. No, I don't think.
Dude, he
people would have
won,
risen
and
up.
and white supremacists still marched. You know what I mean? Like in support. All those people were ready for Hillary to win and for them to just attack. Like
I don't think so. Actually,
I
I don't think so.
I think that people have been awoken to the fact that the status quo doesn't have to. I mean, he's definitely anti-establishment. We're getting way too.
We're getting off.
You know what, dude?
It's a political podcast.
This is what I'm
now.
going to say. You follow Alex Conn on the Cover to Cover
Thank you.
podcast.
Yes.
You follow me at Conn.tv. I got a website coming soon called Conn.tv.
Oh, nice.
I like to play some bluegrass music, so maybe some of that'll drip its way in there.
Fun.
And I'm going to rail on the government some more, okay? That's what I do.
Can't take our guns.
Hell yeah. The only way you're taking my guns is if Mitt Romney himself kicks this door in with a bigger one, okay? That's what's happening.
Let's go, Mitt. You have the call.
Let's go, Mitt. Let's go, Mitt. Let's go, Mitt.
Brother Romney.
You have a better opportunity. Like, you have a better chance of Jussie Smollett winning the presidential nomination than Mitt Romney.
Get out of here. Oh, my gosh. Alex, it's been a pleasure.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
I had a blast.
Follow Alex Conn. I'll put all of his stuff in the show notes so you know where to find him. Travis, you got anything coming up you want to plug?
This will air. Well, my 30th birthday, March 21st, doing a show at Fourth Wall Cafe for my 30th birthday.
Ooh, the cafe?
Yeah.
The good one.
Yeah. 10 o'clock to midnight. We're going to get weird.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do 30 minutes because it's my birthday and I'll do what I want.
Oh, yeah. It's your birthday. You can cry if you
It's
want
the only
to.
way to get 30 minutes this town is to turn 30.
Oh, my gosh.
Ooh, that's exciting.
That is fun.
I'm stoked.
Good news.
Sweet, man. All right, well, follow us, support the thing, and we'll talk about religion and politics from now on.
No, don't. That's my religion. Don't let, if anyone else comes in here and they're like, that's my religion, you say, no, you're Muslim now. That's Alex's religion.
You need to go to Cover with Alex Conn. All right, thanks for joining us, guys. Have a great week. Bye.